We cannot escape. We cannot come out. Mama.
Mama.
Welcome back to the Off Scot Free podcast. It is Sunday, April 19th, 2026. I am your host, Atlas Scott, with Olivia Scott as the other host.
We're going to do some icebreakers.
Breaking ice.
As we've done the past couple of episodes, we want to implement that more because we think it shows a fun side of us that you don't always get to see. So this one that we're going to do, we're going to actually... Me and Atlas both have playlists that have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... It's supposed to have 6 songs in it. And we're going to go back and forth. And, I'll play a second of a song for him, and he's going to try and guess what song it is. And then vice versa. So, you want me to go first?
Go first, Homebine.
Okay.
Make sure the volume's
Hold on.
nice and loud.
I'm going to turn the volume down and get it, kind of queued up first. Okay. You ready?
Well, it's a Half Alive song. Bleed It Out.
Yep.
Had to give it a second for me on this one. All right. We do you now.
Okay.
I think this would be a little obvious, but it is what it is.
The Ballad of Mona Lisa.
You got it.
We were just listening to that 5 seconds ago. That's what's spinning this morning in the Scott household. Okay, next one.
Collateral by Annex B.
Yeah, sneak peek.
The least amount of sneak peek you could have given right there. Jeez. Yeah, that's a song that I made. That's coming out in this year.
Later.
Later. Coming out later, of course. All right.
Locked Out of Heaven?
No.
No?
I want to give you a little bit more context.
Okay. Oh, Old Yellow Bricks.
Yes.
By Arctic Monkeys.
Yes, ma'am. You got it.
I just needed that.
I realized that first part was a little off-putting, which I was like, that's actually a really good thing to choose right there.
Ready?
Anyways, go ahead, please. It's Shiver.
No.
Wait, Where You Are. Sorry. I get those confused sometimes.
I knew you were going to get it, though.
Mr.
That's so funny that it was a breath, and you're like, I know.
It's like, no, I got it.
Yeah.
By John Summit.
Yeah.
I forget who sings, but it's really good.
Kayla.
Hey, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't know her name, but I know John Summit. He makes good music. Big fan. I know those breaths. Anyways.
That is Tally.
That's
21 Pilots.
That's Tally by 21 Pilots.
Next one.
Bounce. No, I do not like that one. 21 Pilots is one. Not a fan, but also I am a fan.
I love that song.
It's not a bad song. It's just one of the worst songs. Anyways.
That is 12 to 12 by Somber.
By Sombre.
By Somber. Okay.
That's Ceilings by Lizzie McAlpine.
Yes.
I'm a big fan. Does she need more context?
Oh. That is season 2 Weight Loss by Harry Styles.
Yes.
I was like, I know this, but why can't I pinpoint it?
Yeah, the intros really get you right there.
Is that all of them?
That's 5 right there.
Okay.
That's Style by Taylor Swift. The best song of all time.
Come on.
You want another one?
Yeah.
She wants another one.
That is Cauterized by Annex B.
Yes.
Okay, I have a bonus one for you.
Yes, that's Bedhead, I believe, by Manchester Orchestra.
Yes. You want another bonus one?
Sure.
I accidentally put too much on there.
That's stressed out. Another 21 Pilots one. I think we have an affinity
I
to
think
a certain
we're really
band.
good at this, y'all.
Anyways, we have a
It's like we know music or
it's like we
something.
know what we like.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So we want to jump into it by talking about our church message today, which there were a lot of good parts in that message that I think kind of reinstated why it is that we believe what we believe, and we haven't talked about it yet since the church service.
This is true.
so
We've
is
been
great.
marinating as we've been cleaning the apartment.
Yes, but essentially, I'll pull up my notes on my phone so I can kind of reference it specifically. But Zach Wright is the one who preached today,
Our boy.
and we're very glad that this sermon was, it had more girth to it than
And the Easter one.
the Easter one. Yeah. You got to see his preaching style a little bit better. He's very good with the people, good with the crowd.
He's chilling with the crowd.
He made the crowd laugh a lot of times, which was good.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the second week of their series, Love Your Neighbor. I don't think you heard week 1, but I visited and watched week 1 last week. So I have context, he doesn't. But essentially what they're trying to do is, because leading up to church, they had Practicing the Way, which was figuring out how to love the Lord your God with all your heart and might and strength. Which, but
Propeller right
there's
there.
2, big commandments, which is that, and then it's also love your neighbor as yourself. So they dove into that before Easter, and now after Easter's over, we're talking about neighbors. And this week specifically was called When Helping Hurts, which was named after a book with the same name by Stephen Corbett and another guy that I didn't have enough time to write down his name before the thing went away.
Stephen Corbett and Stephen Corbett's
But
friend.
we started with the story in Acts 5 with Ananias. Is that right? Ananias?
Sure.
The guy who was like trying to be generous, but he didn't give everything, and so he died. And then his wife died too. And oftentimes churches use that passage to try and scare,
Gotta goof.
scare people into tithing. But Zach kind of went more into it and said, I think like the
He
more
was like,
important
so
thing,
the lesson here is that you have to give to the church everything you own.
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
That's
just
not the thing.
Yeah.
But that'd be funny if it was.
He said, what made this story messy? Pride and misunderstanding, poverty. Why did they have to die? I don't know.
He literally was like, I don't know.
I really don't know.
That's a point. That
Yeah.
was a point that he put on the screen.
And then he said, but what does this mean, this story mean for us? It means we got to take this seriously. We got to take giving seriously. And he brought up a really good point. We are flawed human beings. And no matter what, in a perfect society, he gave context because in Acts 4, there was a community of people who had all given everything that they had, and they were living in this harmonious community. And this one family, the one that died because they didn't give everything, they wanted to give some because they wanted to seem, cool, but because they didn't give everything, they were struck down. And anyway, people, because we are selfish, because we are flawed and we are sinful, there is always going to be somebody out there who is not going to abide to the system. And sure, in theory, it would be great. Communism would be great. Let's be real. If everybody was like, I scratch your back, you scratch mine, we all contributed equally, we all got the same thing, we all provided for each other, that would be a great concept. However, by human nature, we are selfish, and there is always somebody who's going to want more, which is why in society it's really tough, because there's 2 different kinds of people politically, and more oftentimes the left-leaning people are like, the people who have money should give money to the people who don't so that we're good. And that they're supposed to help these people because they have the money to help them. And then the right-leaning people are like, you should be able to do what you want to do with your money. What God says is you shouldn't be looking to people to satisfy your needs. You should be looking to me. And so I think that's where the truth lies, somewhere in between, as it always does, you know? And so I thought that was interesting, just kind of hearing that. But Zach said that oftentimes we get frustrated when somebody comes to us with a problem they have. And we're like, well, I know the way you could fix this. You just do this, this, and this. And they're like, oh, okay. And then they don't do it. And then you're like, what the heck? I literally gave you the advice. Why didn't you take it? I'm frustrated. I'm mad. That's not, that's us being hurt in our pridefulness and kind of selfishness because we wanted to benefit from helping them. When really the best way to level with somebody is to be like, hey, I'm not better than you. I'm not higher than you. I actually suck too. Not in the same way as you. I actually know how to advise you in this. However, my suckiness is equal to your suckiness. And so let's come together and know that we're not enough and that we both are spiritually in poverty. And let's get on that level ground and understand that and work together to both help each other get to where we need to be. But ultimately, this was something they talked about last week. You know the story of the Good Samaritan? Basically, Samaritans were very frowned upon people in the society back in the day. And I think a lot of people know that phrase, be a good Samaritan, but they don't really know where the story comes from. But there was this guy, and he was like on the side of the road. What was he? Like just like starving, hurt.
He was beaten.
Yeah, beaten. Yeah, I think so. And he was on the side of the road, and his like brothers in the same race as him and belief as him all passed him by and didn't help him. But the Samaritan, which is somebody that they thought was just evil, he came up and he picked him up and he helped get him to an inn, and he paid it forward to the innkeeper way more than the guy needed. And he was like, and if there's any, other balance, let me know and I'll pay you back. And just gave him a new start. And the main character was like, why would you do that? And he was like, it's just the right thing to do. What do you mean? And what they said last week was oftentimes we think that we need to be the Good Samaritan to people, but that's not our calling. Our calling is to be the innkeeper. God is the Good Samaritan. The only person who can truly help people is God. And it's that same thing. If you lead a horse to the water, you can't make him drink. They have to do that. We are supposed to be helping people after they found God, after they've turned to him already, after they've been saved, right? And so that's something that I really appreciated. But yeah, ultimately, bottom line is loving your neighbor is a lot more than just the actions that you take. It's something within your heart and allowing God to transform you so that you're not selfishly like, I wish you were in a better place, And yeah. You have anything? No. The key is we are all mutually broken, and we need to learn how to be humble. And the result of loving your neighbor is never yours to carry. Your frustration comes from your identity being attached to the result. So, yeah, we were never meant to save ourselves. That's kind of what our story was this morning. Do you have anything to say about the political aspect of it that I brought in?
Like what part of it?
The wealthy giving to the poor part.
Well, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
It can't work.
Well, it could.
No, it can't. It can't with inherent the inherent differences in how people are, the way they are, and where they are with what they are. You have the issue of, like, people go to communism because they think it will work, but they forget about a one key aspect of humanity, which is greed. Like, you can't disagree with that. You also can't disagree with the fact that the people that the high ranking players, people that are hardworking, they would definitely get mad and disenfranchised and discouraged if everything was spread out equally, and those who didn't work at all would continue to not work at all. So there has to be some kind of incentive to have a functioning society for the people that do want to work hard to give them more, and those who want to work less to give them less. That's why capitalism works pretty well in America. Doesn't really work well in France. It's a whole thing. But it's very important for people to realize why the systems are the way they are. What always pisses me off too is that people assume that you can avoid suffering, which you can't. That's a part of life. That's always been a part of life. That's never not been a part of life. If you look at anybody in history that's done anything great, they've usually gone through a lot of crap. They've done a lot of hardship. They've gone through a lot of hardship. And if you ask them, what would you change about your life? They usually don't go back and say, I would like to not feel pain. Because if
the pain's what got them to where they're at.
The pain is the only thing that forms.
Yeah.
It's like fire, or intense heat with metal, or like a pot maker with clay. It's like if clay could have a voice, it would probably, when it's just a blob, to be like, please don't morph me, please don't put me into the kiln, and then it becomes a pot, and then it's a lot more functional, a lot more just better. Than if it were to have been left alone.
Right.
And yeah, I definitely have thoughts about billionaires and where they're at. But nixing the 1% of the 1%, I'm like, I think to assume that the billionaires or the millionaires could just pay the poor to not be poor, I just don't think is true.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have a lot of evidence for that. I just look at human nature, especially for me, myself. And like, I'm a creative, and if I didn't have to make money, I wouldn't contribute to this society basically at all.
Yeah.
Except through art, which is debatably functional. And people have thoughts about that. I have a lot of creatives.
Well, I don't think, I'm not a creative, but if I was getting everything paid for, I wouldn't contribute to this society either.
Well, a lot of
like, I'd probably give good vibes all the time.
Well, sure, might be good hangs, but
Yeah.
you might also drink yourself to death, or go into debauchery of some sort, or go into your vices, doing whatever you want, and money's not keeping you in check.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, I have a lot of creative friends that stand by this mindset of everybody should have a universal base income, which I think is beyond stupid. Because yes, in theory, that sounds amazing, because then you don't have to suffer in the way that you have to suffer to pay your bills. However, if you do have a universal base income, which is, by the way, how in the world do you calculate that?
Yeah.
But if you do have that, then guess what? Anybody that doesn't want to work doesn't. It's not that they can't work. Like, some people debatably should be subsidized. We can have a talk about that. We're talking about the extraneous cases at that point. Most people are just lazy. So am I. And most people don't want to have to work to pay for food, which so do I.
Yeah.
I say this from a place of, if I could have it, quote unquote, how I want now in front of me, that's what I would choose. But with a 1,000-foot view of how I believe humans work and how I believe great humans are formed, you have to have it like this. I don't think there's a better way. It sucks, but it's the best way we got. And anybody that says, oh, it just sucks, it's like, all right, cool. Well, communism failed. That never works. Socialism also fails. What is it? What's the lack of government? Is it
Anarchy.
just anarchy is anarchy. It is chaotic. By definition, it sounds good in theory, and communism can work in a very small setting, but on a large scale, it doesn't work, because people get lost in the numbers of human beings. and then everybody fails. Everybody suffers. And only and then it becomes a slave state at that point, from what I've seen in history, which is what I like to judge my next actions based on what other people did and what didn't work and what did work. So overall, I heard that from the pastor, and I was like, yeah, no, and I know that it's very easy for us that aren't bad off right now to be like, well, this is just how it is. And so like I try to give grace to people that just are not in a great situation, but I'm also like, maybe you put yourself there.
Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah.
And there are other things, and this was something that my cousin and I talk about a lot, Brooks, or we did talk a lot about, especially when we first started to reconnect, where we were like, yeah, like the second your life can really turn for the better is when you just own everything that went wrong in your life, and then you try to change.
Yeah.
You try to do everything you possibly can. And I think that's what God wants you to do. He doesn't want you to blame people. Obviously, if you have resentment, he calls you to bring that to people. But you can't change people. You can't force them to be who you want them to be. They will be who they want to be. Case in point, I can give you many people that have done that, including myself. And overall, it is on you, in my opinion, as a human being, to serve others as best you possibly can. Own every mistake and every pitfall that has happened in your life. Not to shame yourself, but to be like, all right, I could have done better here.
Yeah.
Even if I was the 1% wrong here.
And to learn from it.
So you learn from it and grow. And so you're not sitting there being like, well, why? Because like I've seen people with a victim mindset where they're just sitting there like, why does she not talk to me?
Why does this happen?
Why did he do this? Or a lot of people just go to parents. They're like, why do my parents do this, this, and this? I am in such a bad place. And I'm like, I get it if you're 10. I get it if you're 15, honestly. But it's like, in my opinion, past 18, debatably 22. I feel like once you pass that age, I don't think you can blame your parents anymore. And I definitely think you got to stop blaming people, even though it's easy. And I know it's very hard to not blame everybody else except yourself, even if you feel very justified, even if in the eyes of the law, you are technically justified. Like Jesus was crucified.
Yeah.
Perfect man. Did literally nothing wrong. Nothing out of the
They were
world.
like, we just want to kill him.
We just
the
like,
guy was like, okay.
He's like, and like Caesar was like, you sure? Like this guy robbed a bank or whatever the guy did. And they were like, no, kill Jesus, because they were scared. They were scared of what he was asking them to do.
Yeah.
Which is change, which shows you that if a person doesn't want to change, they won't change.
Yeah.
But all that tangent to go off of, I think capitalism and the economy in general is a more complex human issue than it is a number issue.
Yeah.
And people want to say like, well, they have billions of dollars. Why don't they just like spread it out? And it's like, no.
I don't know, man. I don't know why they won't.
Yeah.
They should.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think people who are a lot, like, very wealthy, like, excessively wealthy, they should be helping the people who aren't.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
That should be redistributed on some level.
Yeah.
Wherever that needs to go.
But also, you can't control people.
It's not that simple. It's just not that simple. I saw this one article about this homeless guy. I think there's like a TV show that like they gave him like a bunch of money. I forget how much it was, but like they checked in with him after a year. They like got him like an apartment, got him a job, got everything, lost it all. Completely broke, back in the street. And I'm just like, yes, that is one person, one case scenario. I'm not saying.
Well, Zach was talking today in his sermon. He was talking about how there was a homeless lady who came into their church.
Yeah.
And she really needed to get a driver's license to be let into a homeless shelter.
Yeah.
And they did all these things to help this lady get to where she needed so that she could get off the street. She got into the homeless shelter, and after a week or two, she got kicked out because she picked too many fights.
Yeah.
And then they never heard from her again.
Yeah.
And it's like, you think that you could make a difference in somebody's life, but it's always, they have to choose. Mm-hmm. They have to choose, And people think, oh, if we just give money to the poor, then they'll be good. It's like, well, they have to choose if they're going to take care of themselves or not, you know?
Yeah.
And oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes somebody having more money proves that they made the right decisions, that they stewarded it well.
That they can handle it.
Yeah.
There's a guy
that they can grow it and not throw it out. Yeah.
There's a guy that I follow. She knows about this. Mr. Hormozy. Big fan of that guy. His big thing about making money, he's a business guy on YouTube, is a big thing that he talks about when it comes to making money. He says, I made more money making other people money, which to me is actually like a really interesting view on that, because I hadn't really thought about it like that until he said it. But it sounds obvious too, but it's like, it's a lot easier to sell something when people can actually profit from what you sell, and you can obviously upcharge them, but make sure that they profit from it. And I just think there's so much nuance to business and economics. And yes, there is luck. There is a time and place. It's who you know and who you are, what you look like. There's a lot of factors to it. I'm not saying it's fair, but I am saying that the hardest workers usually are winning more than the people that just fall into it.
Not always.
Yeah, not always, but the vast majority of the time.
Sometimes people are dealt the worst cards and they genuinely have the best personality. And if they were given one little piece of upper hand, they would shoot off, skyrocket. Oh, yeah. That's what literally every shark on Shark Tank is they came from nothing and were given one little opportunity and they were able to grow it big. Yeah. It's like...
You have Mark Cuban that he did a lot of stuff specifically in the .com bubble where all the websites were happening, and then he sold at the right time, made hundreds of millions of dollars, to my knowledge, or millions of dollars at the very least, and he was able to grow it from there. Because I think people, like, if you look at the statistics, this proves my point right all the time. Anybody that wins the lottery almost always loses all of the money.
Yeah.
Like, it's a stupid percentage. Because you're kind of sitting there like, wait, what do you mean, all the money? I'm like, yeah, the ones who win millions of dollars that could have just put that into a trust or some kind of index fund and just not touched it, still lose it. Why? Because they're not used to that. They don't know how to deal with it. And it becomes public knowledge that you won, and anybody that knows you probably wants money from you. And when you're poor, you want to give. And you think that giving is just going to solve everything. And I'm sure there's other mindsets too, but you lose it all. It just depends on people. But I believe it's because they're not stewarded. They don't know how to steward the money. I'm not saying you couldn't figure it out. I'm sure there's some millionaires that won the lottery because of that, or they become millionaires because of the lottery, and they were able to steward it well. But they probably had a plan before that.
Yeah.
And some people are paycheck to paycheck. A lot of people are, which sucks. But it's also like, how much money does it actually take to live? I think people, and then there's a whole conversation there of like, are you really living below your means so you can save, so you can get out? I know we have friends that are not so well off that talk about moving out and figuring it out, and then they do nothing with it, or they go out to eat all the time, or they keep driving places, or they buy and have a car payment, and it's like, there are things you can do.
It's like, why'd you just buy a car?
Why'd you buy a car? Why are you still at your place? Why are you going out to eat? Why are you not doing? And you realize, they're okay with their reality. Those people that are richer weren't okay with their reality, or inherited it. But more than likely, the self-made millionaires weren't okay with their reality, and they with luck, they did what they could with luck, and I would say a lot of gumption. Go where they need to go.
But honestly, it is a selfish act to try and get as much money as you can.
Yeah, and that's the flip side coin. It's like, well, should I just be going for money? It's like, no. But it's like, like I said, it's a nuanced argument. It's not just
be living to your needs.
You shouldn't be a bum on the street that's homeless. You shouldn't be a billionaire. Yeah, and you shouldn't be a billionaire in a penthouse. I believe there's a middle ground somewhere, and it all depends on heart and your intention, and that's what God always talks about in the Bible. So, but like I said, it's nuanced. But I appreciated the nuance that he had introduced.
I agree.
It wasn't just him being like, you shouldn't make you shouldn't make any money. And he was also like, not saying you should make all the money in the world and not give it to anybody. It's like, that's not what we're saying here. He's like, his whole thing was, we are trying, like, our goal here as Christians is to guide them to Christ, not guide them to who we are.
Yeah.
Not to who we want them to be.
Yeah.
Which is sometimes very different. Yeah. Hopefully not different, because if we want what God wants, then we'll try to get them to God. But we're not always like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It was a cool message.
But yeah, after we got back from church today, we took a little bit and we cleaned our apartment. We're actually
deep clean.
Getting dinner with Atlas's parents.
Mis parientes.
Yeah, this evening, and they're going to come by and see our apartment for the first time, which is super fun.
So. Been a few months in this place, and
a long time in this place. Our lease is nearly up.
It's coming to an end. Thank the Lord.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they'll be able to see the new apartment after that.
Yeah.
So
basically.
But anyway, to recap this past week, I want to start and say this past week I kind of had like a revelation where I was like, I just need to put certain rules of life into place to where I have to.
She did a full 180. I was like, where is she?
It's like I have to put certain rules into place to make sure that I am on a track to go where I want to go. And so here are my rules that I had written down.
She did a version of this last year.
Yeah.
With food specifically. And she did a great job with it. And then she got really busy. It was hard. And then now, I don't know what flipped the switch. What's flipped the switch with you when it came to this? Sometimes it's just a little thing, you know?
Well, I think it was just like, I'm not really happy with where I'm at. And I was like, you know what? I have every power to change it. And that was kind of it. You know?
I think that's cool. I think it's cool to not have a big reason, in my opinion. I like to just do the things because I'm like, oh yeah, I do want that.
Yeah.
And I just shift everything. I think it's a cool thing.
So my rules, I have 12 of them. Steps, 20,000 per day, Monday through Saturday. I know that's a lot, but it's definitely achievable. I did it all this past week.
Yeah, she has a walking pad under her standing desk.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I write one chapter in my Bible per day. So I think I've talked about this before, but I'm rewriting the entire Bible. Right now I'm in probably Genesis 35. I just did Esau's descendants yesterday.
Esau.
Esau.
It's Esau.
Esau's descendants.
But you can say Esau.
Yeah.
Esau.
Anyway, and so now I'm moving on from there. Nutrition, I'm really working on trying to stay in a calorie deficit. However, I know it's not as big of a deal because I am walking so much that my body kind of needs extra carbs and calories. But I think I've been doing a pretty good job because I've been keeping my lunch at work about 500 calories. And my dinner ends up being about that much too. And so I have a whole like 600 calories to kind of play around with. And so I just try not to overdo it, but I could be doing better with sweets. You know that. Well, I have a problem with my sweet tooth.
Yeah, she's a big sweetie, if you will.
I added a line, you need to help me with this, but treats, no more than one sweet treat per day. I need it. It's good that the vanilla wafers are gone.
Yeah. She said we need to get more, and I was like, okay.
Anyway, okay.
Sure.
I also fast until noon every day. We probably eat around 6 or 7 p.m.
Just had to say that.
Sorry.
I said 7 or 8. 6 or 8, any of them.
Yeah, most of the time. And so that's a good, like, over about 16-hour fast, which is really good for you. Mm-hmm. Protein, I've been trying to get about 100 grams daily, and I've been monitoring that. I try not to be super strict about it, but just kind of like, this seems about right, you know? Water, I've been drinking 4 awalas a day.
Which is a good amount of water.
Which has been really good. So, yeah, I've been peeing a lot.
Many bathroom breaks.
Bedtime, in bed by 10:30, lights out at 11. I have been doing that. Wake up by 7, Monday through Friday. I've been doing that as well. I'm going to skip that one. Eating, no mindless eating. Water, no liquid calories, water only. And then the treats one.
Yeah.
1 sweet treat per day. So, yeah, that's what
basic
I've been
stuff.
doing. And I've been really consistent with it. I've also been adding in workouts as soon as I get home as well. And I worked out way too hard Monday and Tuesday last week. I did like high intensity workouts, but didn't realize they were. I just kind of pulled up a YouTube video and was like literally, it was so difficult to move Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even a little bit on Friday. And so I kind of sat back and rested on Wednesday and Thursday to recover. While still stretching and still getting my steps in. And then on Friday, I did a very light intensity workout. And same thing on Saturday. And now on Monday, I've really kind of done it medium intensity Monday through Saturday. So hopefully that'll help me get back on track more. So I'm glad about that. But yeah, I'll keep you all updated with that. But I think it's been going pretty good.
It's pretty awesome, I'd say.
Yeah. I also was thinking about it, and like, I know a lot of people do that, and they kind of boast about it a bunch. And I'm like, I'm glad that I'm not boasting about it a bunch. I get that can help keep you accountable. But like, that's my accountability right here. It's just Atlas, you know?
Well, I'm fairly healthy, I'd say. So
You're very healthy. He's so crazy. He just like has routines that he just kind of plans sporadically from time to time, and then he just sticks to it. You're very good at discipline.
yeah,
Very good at discipline.
It's helpful to teach your body that you're in control.
Yeah. And that's what I'm doing right now. So, yeah, it's really good. So
Pretty sick. Very
got
proud.
that.
Proud husband over here.
Thanks.
That's all I'm saying.
On Monday as well, we went to go get dinner with Blake and Rosie.
The Ross Boss and Blake, sir.
And that was really fun. A lot of really good conversations. We always talk about music when we're with them. But Blake's going to help Atlas with acoustic covers for Oblivion.
Yeah.
When's that coming out?
It's
May?
it's on the latter half, or probably top half of June when it
okay.
comes out. But we're going to be doing it around May.
Yeah.
'Cause
Oblivion comes out May 1st.
May 1st, guys.
Which is pretty close.
Pretty sick.
It's not this Friday, but next Friday.
No, it's coming. It is coming.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't had an EP release since 2024.
We really haven't.
Before he met me.
Yeah.
So this is the first EP release
Finally,
together.
oh my gosh, yeah. This is definitely the.
We should do like a party or something.
I wanted to do a party, but I didn't know if it was too quick since we're getting to that chopping bit point. But I'm just
do a
glad.
party.
I'm just glad it's coming out. That's all I care about, honestly.
Could have friends meet us somewhere. I don't know.
We'll
figure it out.
We're busy right now.
We'll let y'all know if we decide something.
Just like a big old letter. It's just like we didn't. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Anything else from that conversation that stuck out to you?
No, I mean we hadn't talked to each other directly, like one-on-one.
They got baptized since last time we talked to them, so that was great. And they were kind of on a good church high.
Yeah, and they did a fast for a bit. I'm assuming it was for Lent.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what it was.
They're coming back.
Yeah.
Hopping back into the music scheme of things.
Yeah.
And working from there.
Yeah, they went full sin on their Baptist thing. They're Orthodox Christians, and it was interesting to hear Rosie talk about it because she was like, yeah, for like the week leading up to baptism, like we were like slammed with church stuff, and she was like, I was really just happy about it because then I also forgot about making coffee stuff, which she helps a ton with that with Blake, and so did Blake as well. Kind of forgot about it too, and then once they got out of it, they were like, wait, what are we doing now?
Yeah.
Which I thought that was funny. I was like, yeah, don't forget the main mission on this one.
Yeah.
The music is always just a side thing. Everything else is just a side thing to God. So I appreciated that kind of awakening for her. And Blake, they both were like, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Gotta know where the time's going right now.
For sure. The next morning, I woke up, got in my car, started driving to work, and my check engine light came on yet again. My dad did try, and he took it to O'Reilly's, and he found that there was I guess a cylinder maybe, or a pump or something was clogged. And so he tried to put some sort of
In a
cleaner
fuel
in there.
injector?
Something.
We don't know cars.
I don't. We don't know cars.
Please don't ask
But my
me.
dad
Don't
got
worry,
like
they'll
this
roast
like
me.
cleaner, which I'm sure is the same thing that Quick Car did. But he let it run in my car basically the entire day to try and let it work itself out. Check engine light was off, and then it came back on.
It came back on and then.
On our way back from Grandma's that evening.
And I was like, we are going to Honda now.
And so Atlas brought it to Honda in the morning.
Great service, by the way. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but
I was a
man,
big fan.
it was expensive.
That crap
it was
hit.
not at all what we thought it was.
It was funny because like every time
it was
so
like $3,500.
it was $3,500 for just that, and in total
Yeah.
we were kind of in the hole for about 45.
Yes, because we had already done all that other stuff with Quick Car. I'm kind of pissed off because we just had gotten an oil change, and they had like all this shit that it was like $200 because they had to not only do the oil change, which was
Well, I
$100.
got them down to 130.
But they also cleared it out.
Yeah.
The thing.
Yeah.
Which was unnecessary for them replacing the entire fuel injector pump.
For sure.
So.
Well, I remember when we were talking about the Quick Car stuff, especially when I was there, you were not happy about hearing about it, obviously.
Yeah.
Who would be? And then you were like, I think they're wrong. And I'm just sitting there like, because I talked to the mechanic one-on-one, and it's like, I'm not saying he wasn't like lying or at the very least unaware of what was really going on, because he was very clear. He was like, I don't know exactly what's going on, but I know that it's two things basically. It's one of these two, and the one is 600, and the other is 2,000. And I was like, those are two different numbers. Let's go with 601.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there. I was like, it might be the 2,000. We'll see. And I knew I was just kind of like going on a learning process.
Which this is crazy because we paid double that at this
Oh
point.
my gosh, yeah, no, it was
some.
it was just learning. It was just learning, and I was talking
What
to you
we
about
learned is we can both agree on this, that it would have been better if we would have just gone to Honda.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's kind of where we're at. So
She's a little hurt by the the car.
yeah, I'm upset because
upset is
it's
better.
a Honda. It's the first time I've gotten a good car.
Yeah, and you're still paying it
A
off
good
right
brand.
now.
I'm still paying it off. I got it less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I've taken care of it, routine maintenance always. It's got less than 100,000 miles on it. Like,
well, we did talk
this is
to a
the
guy.
only time that a
Major
light has come on besides, hey, you need to get your oil changed,
Yeah.
or the tire pressure, but that was something entirely different.
Oh yeah,
So,
100%.
what were you saying?
Well, I don't know. I'd say.
You talked to a guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, there we go. Talked to the guy when you got the keys to pick up the car again from Honda, and he was like, yeah, I did the same thing, near the same thing with my Honda Odyssey or some garbage like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, it was like $2,000-$3,000. I was like, dang, okay. Well, it was because it was interesting here. I'm like,
You had to like rebuild.
yeah. I was like, oh, so it's like not uncommon, because he said 80,000. You're near 80,000 at this point, if not past it.
I am past it.
Past it. There you go. So it's.
But he was like, that's going to last me another 10 years.
Yeah, which is just like, it's helpful.
And like, I also know that this car is probably going to last me another 10 years, which is why it's like well worth the investment to make sure that it's running functionally well.
Yes, and also to deal with trying to trade the car in and
We
get
also-
a new car would be insane.
Yes. During all this, I went and looked at my, I have a loan for my car through Texas Trust Credit Union.
Yeah.
And we kind of did some crunching numbers and realized that if I keep paying my car payments at the rate that I have, then I'm going to end up paying about $30,000 for this car when it originally was $20,000.
Yeah, so 10,000 in interest. We calculated the interest. It was like 22 or 23%, and I was like, oh my gosh. And this is on me for not doing the due diligence on finances for all of us. But I was like, oh, everything's got to go to this car now.
Yeah, and so our goal, which I'm like 100% certain we can achieve is
just get out of
to
the way.
have this car
100%.
paid off by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Right now we do have money in our emergency fund, but we're going to take care of that debt first. And the great thing is after that's out of the way, then we're going to have a bunch of leftover that we can just start shoveling
Oh,
towards,
yeah.
like probably $2,000 a month.
Yeah, 100%.
At that point,
That
if
is-
we do what we're supposed to be doing with our apartment,
Yes.
and we make the amount of money that we need to be making,
Mm-hmm.
which is all dependent, by the way, on how much I make in sales and how much he makes in sales.
My own sales and doing the thing.
Yeah. So anyway, and that'll be helpful for saving up for a house, which we had told y'all that we had already saved up several $1,000s
Yeah.
for our house. Obviously, a lot of
We do not have those separate
we don't
$1,000.
have that anymore. We put a lot of that towards the car, and then whatever was left over, we threw it towards the car payment. So at this point, that's
But it was
the
nice
plan.
though, and we talked about this with each other where we were like, we're okay.
Yeah.
Because you talked to Elijah about it, and he was like,
Yeah.
man, that sucks. And you're like, it's not as bad as
Like,
it sounds.
we still have a good amount in our savings account.
Yeah, we're not completely gone, but like also we're surrounded by people that love us, and so like if really things hit the fan, and I'm sure in some level people could help us. I'm not saying that
Yeah.
it would be the goal, but I remember sitting there, I was like, I know we have the money, I don't want to spend it obviously, but it's like you need a car. You need a car that works. And you drive too much for this not to be an investment we put into. It sucks that we
I
have
don't
to.
drive that much.
You drive to
Except-
Ennis every
yeah, to
Tuesday,
Ennis
and
every
you
week.
drive pretty consistently everywhere else. So
Yeah. 10 minutes to work.
yeah,
and back.
I wouldn't take that phrase lightly right there.
Yeah.
She drives, and so do I. And so, anyways, I was just pretty adamant. I was like, although this sucks, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Promise, we'll be good.
So yeah, basically we've kind of restructured the way that we're doing finances and all of that.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of like going from there and kind of using that as a thing to push off from. But I think it was a good wake-up call for us both.
100%.
On Tuesday night, we went to Grandma's. This was technically supposed to be your off week. But you came because Atlas has been working on building a website for Katie. And she asked if he could meet with her about it. And so he came
Yeah,
with me.
I
to
texted
Ennis.
her because I've been communicating with her about the website and kind of getting everything ready for her. And I was like, we need to sit down because she's not the biggest tech person in the world. Most people aren't. And she was like asking these questions like, I will not be able to answer this for you unless we're in person. So let's find some dedicated time. And she was like, are you down for Tuesday? And I was like, sure. I can't think of any other time that makes sense for you. And so
Yeah.
I was like, let's do it. And so I came through, grabbed my laptop, showed her a couple things that she seemed to be very satisfied with and helpful for her. But yeah, I've been using Claude Code for that. I've been really getting into Claude Code recently for a bunch of things, specifically with websites, especially for my own website. I completely redid my whole website, which looks so much better. It's now live, which I'm really happy about. I used Wix before. Goodness gracious. That compared to this, it's just like eons better. Wix is fine, but this is so much cooler. But yeah, been able to use that skill for Katie to get her a much easier, cheaper website that honestly just looks and feels better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so I've been really happy with it. And I think she's been really happy with it. And I'm just happy that she's happy. So, but yeah, that's what I did. And then Tuesday.
Yeah. The next day, we went and picked up my car. No, we did that on Thursday.
It was a Thursday thing.
But on Wednesday, I was driving Atlas's car.
You were, yeah.
And so I had to pick up Atlas from work.
She dropped me off.
But
I think I was shuttled from the Honda dealership on Wednesday.
yes.
I was, yeah.
And then we went on a grocery run together. And I found that typically what happens is either I do groceries or we go together. And the only reason that I'm the one who does it and not Atlas is because usually Atlas sleeps in a little bit. Or sometimes he'll sleep in a little bit.
My
and
schedule's a
he'll
little
stay
shifted versus yours.
Yes. Well, Atlas is, I go in at 8 and get off at 4. Atlas is probably sat down in the office by 9 about 5 if he's not working on something, keeping his head down till 6, 7.
Oh yeah. Well, I
8,
will.
whenever.
I will continuously work as long as I can.
Yeah.
But I also try to balance that with not seeing you. So or seeing
with,
you specifically.
being with your wife.
Yeah. That part of this. So I have to be careful about that.
Yes. Despite him spending most of his day dropping this car off at the Honda dealership and all of that, he went with me at 4. And we went grocery shopping, and that was really fun. I found a lot of couples don't like to go grocery shopping together.
Well,
or they'd rather just have one person be assigned to doing it, or both of them do it separately.
It's called nuclear family.
Yeah.
It's different personalities. A more manly man and a more girly.
Yeah. We love to go shopping together. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it makes it better.
We also get what we want.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting there and like, why do you get these green apples? And you're like, I like apples. And you're like, I don't like these apples. What is It's never happened before, but if that were to happen, that's probably why it would happen.
Fortunately, we have the same taste in a lot of things.
So many, virtually near everything except for
fish.
I
think that's about it.
I like fish.
Yeah, I don't.
She doesn't like fish.
Yeah.
But I like fish.
Anyway, so grocery run on Thursday is when we went and picked up the car.
Yeah. That's where we paid for everything, and I was just sitting there like, oh.
That sucks.
When you see just 3, 5, and then like 2 other numbers before the decimal, and you're like, oh my gosh, this could be like a computer. This could be a down. It's I'm not. I can't think of it. I can't think of it. Just take the money.
It could be those. The Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah, honestly.
That's how much it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
$3,500.
It's spot on the dot right there, I'm not going to lie. We
could have gotten an Apple Vision Pro.
We could have gone back overseas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, so many, that's when you get like pissed to a certain extent, because you're like, God, why do you have to do this to me? And you're just sitting there like, I'm not in control, but but I'm still going to be mad a little bit.
Yeah. So there's that. I finished Better Call Saul season 1 Thursday.
Yeah.
Really loved that. I like saying my predictions out loud to Atlas, and he's like, I don't know.
I try to do my very best.
You're so good at not spoiling.
Yeah. I do like to hear it though, because I'm like, how close could she be? And then sometimes she's like on the dot. I'm like, what a thought that is. We should hit the next episode.
Yeah. And there are other times where he's like, no.
He's like, that is an interesting thought. We should hit the next episode.
Yeah.
So, but I'm glad that she's liking it. I've rediscovered my like for the show. We'd like to watch it together.
Yes.
And so
I found, because I'll update Elijah with where I'm at, because Elijah's been trying to get me for years to watch Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
And
I
didn't.
Brooks and I have been like, hey, you should watch it.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, you're my husband.
Yeah.
And like, I tried to start it a while ago, right after I finished Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Probably in December.
Yeah.
And I had made it just a little bit through the first episode.
Breaking
Didn't even
Bad.
finish the first episode of Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I started it back up again, and I was like, I just got to keep watching.
Well, I told you, I was like, if you don't like it,
it,
it's okay if you don't like it. But like, if you can get into it, it's worth it.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good.
Then she full sent it. I was
Anyway, so I've been like trying to update Elijah, but the frustrating thing is I'll like tell him where I'm at, but he doesn't remember like when certain parts are, and he'll be like, oh, I bet you really hate so-and-so then, right? And then I'm like,
she told me this, and I was like, dude, he almost like ruined it for you. Jeez.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to hate them yet.
It's happened a handful of times.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he said something about Walter White dying.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, you know, that kind of thing. And I was like, I mean, I could have assumed that.
I'm always, I don't talk to people until
because I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I can assume all these things that you're saying are things that are going to happen. And I already kind of had it in my head, but also I didn't want it to be confirmed by that.
Yeah.
So what I need to do now is just say, hey, this is the part where I'm at. Don't say anything else.
No, I'm adamant to not tell anybody about what I'm going to see until I see it.
Yeah.
I hate spoilers. I hate people telling me things that I shouldn't know. I hate another opinion affecting my opinion when I'm watching something.
Yes.
So I always try to watch a movie as early as possible. I try to watch shows as quickly as possible. I don't want to hear it.
Unless
I just don't want to hear it.
I love it. You need to go see it.
Oh yeah, which is very different from a
which is
trusted source
good.
that also like.
Instead of, I wasn't really sure how to feel about it.
I'm like, stop talking. Just stop talking.
Yeah. There's this one part where, no.
I hate
You'll
that.
see what I'm talking about.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Always pisses me off.
What do you think? We watched the
Pissing
Narnia
me
movie
off.
on Friday.
Yeah.
This was more so for research for our movie that we're making.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Narnia movie?
I think it's interesting to watch movies that you haven't seen in a while.
Since you were a child?
When you were a child.
Yeah.
Because it changes a lot. Mm-hmm. And especially as a filmmaker, as I've progressed pretty heavily since I've last seen Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe specifically, I was very impressed with the pacing because they do a lot in that film.
Yes.
It's a 2.5-hour film, which I did not know until we had to pause it because we were drifting off into sleep at that point. It's like 1 a.m. or something crap. Like it was so late. And I was like sitting there like, it's great cinematography. It's great everything. Like even like the acting is like, it's not bad. Like even with the kids.
And from somebody who just read the book,
Yeah.
it is nearly spot on. They brought C.S. Lewis's vision to life so well.
It's very hard to do.
So well.
So it's
yeah.
not an easy thing.
Yeah.
Which I think they're remaking the Chronicles of Narnia.
They are.
As a TV show, right? Am I wrong about that? Or is it just a movie
let me
series?
confirm.
Because I think the reason I say that is because I get reminded of this with Harry Potter and how they're doing a show instead of a movie series of their re-up, their revamp, which I appreciate, and I'm sure other book readers would appreciate, because to do book series like that justice is very hard in a movie setting, because then you have to really pick and choose what details get shown, which in a show it's a little less intense, depending on the book.
So Netflix owns the rights to the entire Narnia series and is rebooting it with new movies, possibly shows. So this is something that I didn't realize. There's the chronological timeline of the Narnia books, and then there's the release timeline of the Narnia books. And technically, it's like 5, 6, 1, 2, 4, 3.
Yeah.
It's like really random.
Yeah.
But what they're doing for Netflix is the first movie is going to be The Magician's Nephew, which they've never made a movie about that before.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They did Voyage of the Dawn Treader, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Caspian.
Yeah, Prince Caspian.
But nothing else.
Yeah. The Silver Chair is 1, 2, and then there's that one, and then the Final Battle.
Yeah.
So they're starting with the very first, which means that the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe would come second, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. We saw a box set when we went to Half Price Books to see if we could find a cooler version of it. We didn't like what we saw, but we saw a box set, and in order it was that Nephew one, and then Wardrobe, and then Caspian. I'm assuming a Voyage.
Yes.
Whichever one, and then
Caspian first, then Voyage.
Caspian, Voyage, and then Last Battle, or maybe there's another one that I'm forgetting.
Silver Chair.
Yeah, and then Last Battle. But that was the order from what I remember.
Guess who it's directed by?
Gerwig.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that early.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's awesome. She's a great director.
I think so too. I think she's done a great job. But he's a lot more in tune with directors and what they do specifically. What she's doing. I'm just like, that was really good. And I don't think anything of the director.
Well, and you shouldn't. I think to do movies right is the audience shouldn't really think about it like that. But as a movie maker and a movie lover, I've seen a lot of, because Gerwig is a actor at heart. She acted first before she directed. I love what she did with Lady Bird, a movie that she still hasn't seen, which is unfortunate. Needs to happen. Great movie in general. And she also did Barbie, which is probably what she's most known for, next to Little Women. And I like Little Women a lot. Barbie was really cool.
Narnia is insane for her to be taking on.
Yeah, but I totally think she can do it because of Little Women and Lady Bird. I see those two things. I'm like, oh yeah, if you have the budget and CGI, like.
So it says it's going to have an IMAX theaters release on November 26th.
Oh, heck yeah.
And then it'll start streaming on Netflix on Christmas this year. It says, instead of starting with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, they're beginning with The Magician's Nephew, which is actually the origin story of Narnia, how the world was created and where the White Witch came from.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Never known this.
Yeah.
Never gotten to read the books.
Because you've never read it, yeah.
No, I'm not a reader.
So,
More of a
yeah,
movie
it's a
guy myself.
brand new Narnia movie, and likely there will be more after.
Yeah, you just got to prove that audiences want it. That's the one thing about series like this. It's either they full send it like the Lord of the Rings did with the 3 movies.
And they just shot all of them.
Shot all of them. They're like, we're releasing this. I really hope it works.
Yeah.
Or you wait, which is what they did with the original series of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and just tapered off in popularity. And I think also studios stuff had to like sell things. Obviously Netflix owns it now, but it was Disney that had it for a bit. That's
Disney still has it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of confused.
I don't know how that works. I think it's
Because
more
it says
IP.
Netflix owns it.
They own the IP for sure, but I don't know how it works for the archive.
Is it just like a legacy Disney movie, I guess? Like the DVD box says Disney.
It was probably in the contract of like, we own this movie, but you own the rights to future releases. It's kind of like Sony with Spider-Man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And Marvel versus Sony. I'm assuming, but I don't know I don't know the contract. It's complicated.
Yeah.
But watch that. Most of it, really good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I liked it too. We need to finish it.
30 minutes left.
I've told you all this last week, but I've started listening to audiobooks, and I actually finished 4 books this week, which is really impressive because...
just going through it. It's kind of
Which is really impressive because 2 of the books were 5-6 hour reads, and the other 2 were 11-12 hour reads.
Yeah. Are you a 2-time speed girl or just 1?
2 times speed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Especially for the Hunger Games, because they'll talk very slow.
Oh yeah, they do all the
like
emphasis correctly.
And this, and this, and this. And I'd rather speed it up to where it's like normal talking pace.
At least 1.
So basically, I cut the time in half when I listen to it.
Which my sister does that all the time, and I'm like, at first,
I can't do it at 3 times speed. I also
yeah.
have to adjust it specifically. Like for Narnia, usually it sits at 1.6
you can be
speed.
specific with it. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's pretty cool.
In my audio app, it'll let me. But for like Hunger Games, it's always, I think it's just the lady who
It depends.
narrates
It holistically depends on the narrator itself. They're consistent, but in their
just kind of have
pace.
to feel it out and like the
but they
forward.
change. Yeah, they change their paces between books. For
But
sure.
I listened to the first 2 Hunger Games books, loved those. I've never listened to them before. I've watched the first movie. I've seen bits and pieces of the second. I don't remember anything from the 3rd and 4th movies, but the 3rd book. And I was really eager to start it as soon as I finished Catching Fire. But it is unfortunately on loan
checked
at
out.
my
which is
from my
wild
library currently.
It's so wild. I'm like, it's digital.
Yeah, but I have
What do you
to
mean
wait
it's
like,
on loan?
I have to wait like 4 weeks until a copy is available. So I'm
Yeah.
like, ugh. But I finished the 3rd Narnia book. I'm going not chronological, release order.
Yeah.
So I finished the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and I think the next one is the Silver Chair, and then the Magician's Nephew, and then the Final Battle.
Yeah.
So I'm trucking my way along the Narnia books. And I also read You and Me Forever by Francis Chan, which is a marriage book. And it was very, very well written. Him and Lisa both kind of tag teamed writing it. And I thought they did a really good job balancing that between the 2 of them. But I highly recommend that one. It was amazing. And they go over so many different topics too in such a short amount of time. So anyway.
Have to do all the things.
Yeah, but they're just very profound, and you can tell they have a deep love for each other, and it's awesome. But yeah.
What a shock.
Saturday, we slept in, woke up,
Quite well.
made some lunch, and watched a little bit of Better Call Saul. And then what did you do, Atlas?
I went to go write the first part of the script for Zenith.
We have told you all this. Our deadline for having the script done is June.
Yes.
And so
we got to get on it.
yeah, we got to get on it. We have officially put down our dates for our writing sessions. And by writing sessions, I mean like reading and your poke through sessions is what
Yeah.
Atlas said.
Yeah.
And we've got a list of people that we're going to have do it with us. We're going to do kind of general audience at first, and then we're going to start with your film people, then do general audience, and then have film people again. So it'll be kind of bookending, like
Yeah.
having some heavy revisions on the front end, then having just the general audience's opinion to let that sway things a little bit, and then being able to take that all back
Then
for
the
third writing table.
The final round.
Yes, and then me and Atlas will do our edits. Hopefully we'll have that done by the end of July. The final draft, which means we'll start scheduling and casting and all of that.
Then all the things start to stumble.
But if you're watching this and you've been following along our movie journey, please be praying that the right people come into our paths to be able to make that happen in the way that we need it to. We know that if and when it's supposed to happen, that God's going to make sure that the right people are in the right roles and in the right places, and we're going to have the resources that we need. And it's something both me and Atlas are very passionate about, and we think it's a story that can be very moving for people.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that if we do it, it's not necessarily just for us, though we would really like to see it come to life. We'd really like it to impact people.
Yeah.
And for it to move people and help people, connect with themselves and these characters and see this very vulnerable story from a lot of different people's perspectives. And I think there's at least something everybody can relate to throughout that story.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really great. So anyway, we've talked about it before. Like, you find yourself in Meridian very heavily. And it's really weird because you also find yourself in Eli, but I really find myself in Eli, which I don't think it was never your goal. You didn't write it with me in mind.
You weren't there.
But as he's like told that story to me, it's like this like hopeless chasing for somebody who doesn't really want or need you. And I've been that person before, and so it's been really good having both of us being able to relate to these characters so deeply, because we can really put ourselves and our own emotions into it, which is great. Yeah, very, very pleased with that. Any notes from your writing session?
It just takes a long time.
Yeah.
It takes a while.
How many pages?
It was about 36 pages, I want to say. Technically, I want to say like 33 or 34, because I already wrote one page previously before I went into this writing session. Took about 7 or 8 hours, something like that.
Which is not surprising.
Kind of straight. Yeah, it just takes a while. I remember this one time I was having to write, I was in a feature script writing class for UNT, and I had a draft due for Act 2 of my script. And it was the day before, and I had not written a lick of it. And so I put myself in the UNT library at like 8 p.m. or something like that. And I was like, I am not leaving until I have this script. And I didn't leave until noon the next day. It was, oh my gosh, it was terrible.
16 hours.
Oh, I hated it. I hated it so
crazy.
much. But also, like, what's funny, what's funny too is that like I wrote Act 1 with a lot less stress, and everybody that read it, which the whole class reads it at certain points in the semester, everybody was like, yeah, this act is substantially better than your first act. And I was like, what? I planned the first act. I was like on a fever dream when I was writing this second act. What are you talking about? And I read it again. I was like, you are right though. This is better. And so but it also taught me, I was like, if I need to write and I know exactly what I need to write, it usually is 10 pages per hour for me. But it's almost always less pages per hour if I'm not completely sure, which is almost always.
You also said that the outline, because we've talked about this on here too. I wrote a very detailed timeline, outline kind of
Yeah.
thing for this.
We've gone
That had a
through.
lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
That was about 76 pages. Is that right?
It's a bunch. It's in the 80s or something like that.
Yeah. And so, you said that was helpful.
Well, yeah, it was just like certain moments where I know as a writer, for me, this is what I told her. I was like, I can't write the script because we don't have an outline. And so we worked on the outline pretty heavily. And then at a certain point, you like took the outline from me and you just like detailed it out as much as you possibly could. And then you gave that to me. And then I started writing with it. And it's really helpful to have that because you're not sitting there like, well, I don't know what to write. Because it's like, it's right there. You know exactly what you're going to write. Or at least you know generally where it needs to go. Pretty specifically, I'd say, relatively. And so there'd be moments where I'm writing and I can't have the thought that says, I don't know what to write can't exist because it's right there, especially with the dialogue too. And so I'm just sitting there like, there's just be moments where I'm like, I don't want to write anymore. And so I took like 10, 20-minute bouts where I'm like watching a YouTube video, staring at my screen for a little bit. And then I'm like, all right, back to it. And I scroll more and I just keep writing. And I have this document, this Excel spreadsheet or Google sheet that I made that shows all the scenes that exist and all the scenes that I've written and have not written, which I've not written most of it. But like throughout the process, I had like this little ticker that says, you have this many scenes left. And it was like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and it just kept going down. But it took so long. And I was just sitting there like, I have to like keep reiterating to myself because I hadn't written in a bit. And I was like, it just takes a while. 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 It's just going to suck for a second. It's okay. And then once I was done, I was like, yes, let's go. And I was at a coffee shop at the time. And I packed all my stuff, took a bathroom break, left. And I called you and I was like, I'm done. And you're like, that's awesome. Let's celebrate. So we went to Chili's.
Got a triple dipper and some skillet queso.
Got a trip dip, skillet queso, $35 in total. Kind of a move, not gonna lie.
That's great.
And I was really happy after that. But
Yeah.
during it kind of sucked. You're just sitting there like, oh, I'm not even like halfway through and it's been 4 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that time, you went to go walk around White Rock.
I decided I was going to go to White Rock because I wanted to get my 20,000 steps in, and I was like, I definitely can do that by walking around White Rock.
Oh boy,
White
did
Rock
she do.
once. But by the time I had finished walking around White Rock, in case you don't know, that's a lake in Dallas.
It's 9.1 miles-ish.
Yeah.
Around.
A little bit over 9 miles.
Depends on the trails you go specifically, but it's around 9 miles.
Yeah. But I had gotten all the way around, and I asked Atlas what his status was, and he was like, I'm not even halfway done.
I'm like, I am.
And I was like,
I got 6 scenes done. I got 10 more to go. And you're like, that's tough.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? I got a lot of energy still. I think I could do this again.
You're like,
And so I went around again. So I walked 18 and a half miles.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I was like hoping, because after I got around the first time, it was like 9.2. And I was like, I hope by the time I get around that it'll round out to 18.5, not 18.4, but 18.5, because I want it to be half. And as soon as I got to my car, it ticked from 49 to 50. And I was like,
Got that 50 right there.
Yes!
And you're like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. And it wasn't until I got into the car, because it was a very cloudy day yesterday, a little bit drizzly.
Very
It was
cold.
like, by the time I got to my car, it was 50 degrees outside, but I wasn't really aware because my body was just moving and I guess adjusting to the temperature as it went on.
I know when I've walked around that place, especially when it's colder, your body just says like, all right, and then it just it stops sending you the signal that it's cold anymore until a pretty sudden temperature change happens.
Yeah.
And then your body's like, oh, there you go, and then starts pumping the blood back in, and you're like, feeling.
I hopped into the car and I was like, I can't move any of my fingers
Yeah.
right now. What the heck?
Yeah, it's a weird feeling. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, am I gonna have a feeling? Have I lost my hands today? And then like 10 minutes later, you're like, I'm back.
Yeah. I listened to a lot of music, listened to a podcast, tried to start a book, hated it, returned it early, did not finish.
Not a fan.
Power of a Praying Wife by Stormy O'Meriton.
Don't do that.
It's, I will say, I agree with her 70%, but the 30% was too
Fairly toxic or
toxic that I was like, I can't. And so
just misguided and not really good advice for a lot of situations.
yeah,
So,
and maybe it would have been good 30, 40, 50 years ago.
yeah. But now it's
But
not
not
that.
right now.
Now it's definitely not that.
Yeah,
Things have,
definitely
things have
not.
shifted just
And
a bit. Just saying.
Yeah, I also got to experience a porta potty for the first time.
Women
in
have rights
years.
now. Who would have thought?
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, yeah,
I
porta potty.
experienced a porta potty for the first time in years. I hovered, and it was terrible.
As one should, for the record.
For my glutes that have been trying to recover all week.
They're like,
And who had just walked 9 miles. So there was that. I also, as I was walking, I was like, I remember a customer of mine, we just sold them windows. We're supposed to be getting them delivered this week. And I was like, I think he said that it's around White Rock. And I looked up the address, and it was 0.2 miles from where I was at, which is crazy because there's 9 miles. And the fact that when I had that thought and looked it up, it was just right there.
God was like, hey, you should think about this. And you're
Yeah.
like, what is that thought again?
And so I walked there, and they don't even have framing done. It's just a poured slab. And I was like, well, that's not good.
They're about to get windows.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to hold on to them until they're ready for them.
About to have
is
some
never
ready
good.
windows, unfortunately.
So that was interesting. Saw a lot of wildlife, a lot
Yeah.
of families, a lot of dynamics, smelled a lot
Bunch of
weed.
femmes.
Yeah. But that was about it. Around 6, right now it's 5:21. We're going to meet Atlas's parents at the North showroom to show them where I work and,
Finally
the
be
product that
up in
we've
the
got.
Frisco Colony area.
Yep. And then we're going to go to introduce them to Texas Roadhouse. Should we put in reservations for that, by the way?
I think when we drive there,
Let me see what their wait time is.
where they're at. You never know.
And then they're going to come visit our apartment, which we talked about that earlier. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, nice and clean. We've been needing to clean it for a bit.
It's very nicely put together, I think.
Right before I sat down on the toilet, I'm like, man, that looks so nice.
Yeah. We got to still vacuum and put sheets in our bed. So we're going to let y'all go.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to that. But
In the meantime,
we love y'all.
stay frosty.
Stay frosty.
Love
Wear
y'all.
a jacket in April for some
mid-April
reason.
in Texas for some reason. Who let that happen? I don't know.
Not me.
I didn't tell you that.
I didn't decide that.
Anyways, since Willow's on the lap, guess what? I'm going to turn you off over here.
Peace.
Goodbye. Peace.